Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I go on to the tributes, let me say this. Let me welcome the Honourable Lady, Right Honourable Lady, to her new position. Let me say how much I enjoyed listening to her speech. But I did feel there was something missing. Not one word of apology for the appalling mess that has been left in this country. Nothing to say about leaving Britain with a deficit that is bigger than Greece's. Not a single idea for getting to grips with it. And let me say this, until they learn what they got so badly wrong, I'm not sure people are going to listen to them again. Now, Mr. Speaker, whether we sit on the government benches or on the opposition benches, we've been sent here by our constituents to renew the British people's faith in our democracy. And all of us, whatever role we have to play in this House, we share a responsibility to make sure that renewal really happens. And when talking about our democracy, we should first remember those who do so much to defend it. So let me join with the Leader of the Opposition and pay tribute to our troops who serve on the other side of the world, fighting day and night to keep us safe. And let us remember those who've fallen since we last met. From the 1st Battalion, the Royal Welsh, Fusilier Jonathan Burgess. From the 1st Battalion, the Mercian Regiment, Corporal Harvey Holmes. From 2-1 Engineer Regiment, Sapper Darren Roy and Lance Corporal Barry Buxton. From 40 Commando, Royal Marines, Corporal Christopher Harrison and Corporal Stephen Walker. They died serving our country. We will never forget what they did, and we will always, always look after their families. And everyone in this House, I know, will agree that we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. Mr. Speaker, may I also join the Right Honourable Lady who rightly paid tribute to the 2 members of Parliament who've died since the last gracious speech in November, Ashok Kumar and David Taylor. Ashok Kumar was much loved by his constituents. He brought a rare thing in this House, real scientific experience to our debates, which earned him respect in all parts of the House. David Taylor was the model of an independent backbencher, never afraid to challenge authority, never afraid to stand up for his constituents. They were a great credit to the House, and we remember them with great affection. Mr. Speaker, the Lord Address, I thought, was proposed superbly by my friend, the Right Honourable Member for Hitchin and Harpenden. That was a great speech, and like the Right Honourable Lady, I've tried to do my research. He is a well-known and passionate Eurosceptic. However, Mr. Speaker, I know his little secret. It was during the 1975 referendum campaign that he met his wife, Gail. She was the local secretary of the European movement, vigorously campaigning for a yes vote. And as the Right Honourable Gentleman said, it's their wedding anniversary today. They've been happily married ever since. Now, as someone who's recently just got into bed with an ardent Europhile, I should perhaps ask some advice about how to hold the relationship together over a long period of time. Well, the way you're going on, it might be. Now, Mr. Speaker, I've also looked at some of the books the Right Honourable Member for Hitchin and Harpenden has written during his extensive career. There are thrilling titles like The End of the Keynesian Era, Benefits and Costs, Securing the Future of Social Security, Delusions of Income Policy, and then suddenly, as if from nowhere, Common Sense on Cannabis. I think we'll pass over that one. The one book I've been looking for is something he published in 1974, and it was called Lessons for Power. The only problem is this book has been so staggeringly successful that it is now out of print, unavailable, and when I contacted the Honourable Member's constituency office, they didn't have a copy. In government, the Right Honourable Member had a strong record of achievement as a minister. I'm very glad the Right Honourable Lady mentioned his work on overseas aid. Working with Bob Geldof to transform the debate within the Conservative Party, he did a great job. And in this House, he remains a committed advocate for his constituents. Now, Mr. Speaker, the Loyal Address was seconded, I thought, superbly by the Honourable Member for Bath. As he said, this is the first time in over 70 years that a Liberal has either proposed or seconded a Loyal Address, when Captain Frank Medlicott did so in 1939. I have to say, though, the Honourable Member for Bath did not give us the full picture. As far as I can see, after giving his speech, the captain sunk back into obscurity, was barely heard of again, and then 8 years later quietly joined the Conservative Party. I know that, like many people, the Honourable Member for Bath is still coming to terms with the new arrangements in the House. But now our parties are sharing everything, I've actually managed to get hold of a copy of his election leaflet, where he promised to, and I quote, "fight against this new generation of home counties Conservatives." I cannot possibly think who he meant, but we're delighted to be sitting on the same benches. The Honourable Member also tried to play his part in bringing the 2012 Olympics to London, and the story goes that he was at Wimbledon. He was enjoying the hospitality and the refreshments, and he was overheard having a heated debate with a young woman about where the Games should be held. He argued passionately for London. She argued vigorously for New York. He couldn't understand why she was so stubborn until they were introduced and he realised he was talking to Chelsea Clinton. The Honourable Member has made a significant contribution to the education debate in our country. He's a powerful champion of international development, and I thought both speeches were in the best traditions of this House. As was the speech of the acting leader of the opposition. But for me, the mystery remains. Why is she not standing for the leadership of the Labour Party? I have to ask, is she really content to stand aside and leave a field of front-runners consisting of two brothers and another man who stopped his wife from standing? Surely she would start. She would start with a natural advantage, and we hope she would, of course, rely on the vote of her husband, the Honourable Member for Birmingham Erdington, who we welcome to his place today. And, of course, as Deputy General Secretary of Unite Union, he wouldn't just yield one vote, but 2 million votes. Never mind transferable tax allowances for married couples. This is far more significant. And let me pay tribute to him individually, because he has achieved something remarkable. He is actually, I think, the first man in history to win a constituency with an all-woman shortlist. Mr. Speaker, for the first time since the Korean War, the government has changed hands while our troops are at war. And this is a vital year for Afghanistan's future. We have had a troop surge in southern Afghanistan. There are now about 44,000 American forces fighting alongside around 9,000 British soldiers. What we need now is a political surge with more effective and accountable government, a reformed Afghan police force, and proper reconciliation at the centre. This government will play a leading role in helping to bring that about. Already we've appointed this country's first National Security Advisor, we've held meetings of the new National Security Council, and we will continue to work with the Afghan government, with our NATO partners, in particular the United States, to bring about success. And I was pleased that the first leader I was able to host as Prime Minister was President Karzai. Our aim is clear, creating the stability and the security that's in our national interest and that will enable us to bring our troops back home. A stable Afghanistan, free from terrorist training camps, is vital to our security, and so is an Iran free from nuclear weapons. All the evidence points in the same direction, that Iran is intent on developing nuclear weapons. Even if Iran were to complete the deal proposed in their recent agreement with Turkey and Brazil, it would still retain around 50% of its stockpile of low-enriched uranium. And it is this stockpile that could be enriched to weapons-grade uranium. Now, for the last 6 years, we have pursued a twin-track policy offering engagement but being prepared to apply pressure. I believe it is time to ratchet up that pressure, and the timetable is short. And this government has a clear objective to ensure stronger UN and EU sanctions against Iran. There are specific areas that should be covered, including trade finance, asset freezes, and action against banks that hold funds for the Iranian regime. I've discussed this and other issues with President Sarkozy and Chancellor Merkel, and what's needed for European nations to rise to these challenges and others, whether it's climate change, whether economic stability, is not another treaty, but is political will and practical engagement. And on the subject of EU treaties, let me be clear. Under our proposed bill, any future treaty which transfers power to the European Union will be subject to a referendum. Never again will a government be able to surrender sovereignty to Brussels without the full consent of the British people. Now, this Queen's speech is the first in 65 years from a coalition government. It is a government not driven by party interest, but by the national interest, with clear values at its heart. The values at its heart are freedom, because over the past decade the state has become overmighty and our liberties have been undermined consistently by the Labour Party. Fairness, because after 13 years of a Labour government, inequality is wider, social mobility is stalled, severe poverty is rising and social justice is falling. And the third value, I will give way in 1 minute to the honourable gentleman. The third value at the heart of this Queen's speech is responsibility, because under Labour, the age of irresponsibility broke our society and left our economy deep in debt. I give way to the honourable gentleman.